so that we could refocus and say, but what's the most important things here? Because what we found was we had lost sight of the most important things. We had lost sight of taking care of our relationship, taking care of our family, and taking care of our relationship with God. Because everything that we do flows from those things. And until we refocused and made those the top priority, we had no restoration in our relationship. But when we stepped back and we said, okay, we're going to intentionally and regularly take that time to retreat. And I know, I know I'm not a mom, and I know that, I can't walk in your shoes. But I do know that as we've talked through things, like to say, you need to find time to rest, you could just run me out of the room. Like, I get that. But like Jen said, we had to find creative ways to do that, right? Even if it meant locking the door on the bathroom for an extra 3 minutes just to catch your breath, that's what it looked like in that season, because everybody's season looks different. The way that you're going to be able to rest is going to look completely different than the way that we were able to rest. But what we know is we all need to rest. And so kind of what our responsibility is as husbands and wives is to say, okay, what does that rest look like for me? When we talked about it on our retreat, we talked about actively recovering, right? You can't just expect to take a nap and feel better. It's not going to fix things. And that's what we thought, right? Well, I just need to sleep more. No, it doesn't work that way. Because you're giving out so much of yourselves. It's not just a matter of physical energy. You're giving of yourself emotionally. You're giving of yourself to your kids. You're giving yourself every part of you. And all of those things need to be replenished. But nobody's going to fight to give you that back other than you and your spouse. And so we had to be intentional to find out how to do that. And we had to be intentional to refocus and make sure we're actually making the big priorities in our lives. And when we did that, and when we found that new rhythm, that was when we found our relationship was restored. That was when we found that intimacy that we had been missing for so long. But it wasn't until we had those hard conversations, it wasn't until we made those difficult decisions that we found that restoration.
I also forgot to share the one thing we actually do, but that we also did then, is we admitted that we needed help. We realized we can't do this on our own. We went on this retreat and had people on this retreat be able to pour into us. And then when we came home, we went through individual counseling with somebody to really just go through like a lot of this grief, because a lot of it was we had started putting wedges between each other because we felt like the other one couldn't be there for us or couldn't understand. So just to be able to uncover and understand what's going on with us, deal with the grief, because stuff that I didn't even realize, but my mom had passed away, now it's 16 years ago, and stuff even from then, and stuff from my childhood, stuff from his childhood, and different things was kind of all coming to a surface at once. So having people to kind of walk alongside with us and saying, we need help. I know so many times in this culture especially, it's like, no, we're fine. We'll get through. We're fine. We don't need anybody. Like, we don't need a counselor. We don't need to talk to anybody. And it was the opposite of what we really needed inside. It was just somebody to just pour back life into us and pour something of refreshment. So that's one thing we do now too, but it's only because from prayer, from God, and from other people during a difficult season. We don't have any of this great advice here. We just know from all the failures that we had and all the losses that we had and all the different situations that we had that we messed up in, we had somebody walk along us and say, you could do this. You're okay. Keep going. Let's talk more. Let's figure this out together, and let's figure out how we can help you guys, how you can get back on that track again. So there's no, huge advice, but it was really important that we did go and talk to someone, whether that's counseling, whether that's just sharing with someone. That was something that we also did.
Yeah. And again, that's our heart in what we're doing in this new season. I joke, but I feel like we have broad shoulders and comfortable shoes, and that's our heart, to be willing to listen and grieve with people that need it and walk along the long journey to find that restoration that God wants us all to have. And so our heart is to create space for families, for marriage, for couples, for individuals that are able to retreat from the insanity of life, refocus their hearts so that God can restore their souls. And so everything that we do in our ministry is to create that environment for people to be able to do that. We do that in a bunch of different ways. One way, like we mentioned, is we host these marriage retreats. We just finished one last weekend. It was awesome. We have another one coming up next month. Rumor has it that Amanda and Ethan are coming. I don't know if that's enticing to all of you or not so much, but we would love to offer that to anyone that would like to join us. We were talking, and we can do a little bit of a discount because we like you guys, and it's pretty cool that you would let us talk to you. So if you'd like to sign up, we have a few spots left. It's pretty quickly selling out, so we're pretty excited about that. But if anybody would like to journey with us, that's November 13th to 15th. We can talk more about that. And we also have another one in January if those times work for you better. But we have those retreats. But the other thing that we do is we just like to walk with families through difficult seasons.
Can I mention something about the retreat?
You're just cutting me off all night tonight. Go for it.
All the time. Just about the retreat. For some people, these retreats look very different from any other retreat that you've been on. This might be appealing to you. This may not be. When we were going through our really difficult season, and we went on this retreat, I'm an open book. I'll share anything, but when I'm in these kind of settings and on retreats and whatever, like, I don't want to tell anybody else my issues. I don't want to tell about my struggles. And the focus of the whole weekend of that weekend was for us to just be able to focus on each other. And it just brought my guard down so much that I wasn't going to have to be in a group session. Some people like to do that, but we kind of based our retreat somewhat off of that. So if anybody's nervous, am I going to have to share? The whole focus is for you to talk to your spouse. We don't put you in any groups. We don't ask you to share anything at all that you don't want to share except with your spouse. And we won't even force you to do that either. That's obviously up to you. So if that has held anybody back, we've realized the biggest feedback we got this weekend was, oh my gosh, like, we didn't have to go in a group. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was that big of a thing that would keep you from going. And I mean, if you want to make relationships with other people, but that's not the focus of our marriage weekends. It's really to focus on each other and the marriage. And we actually even have a built-in date night / date, even part of a day in, which is just supposed to be the two of you. So just wanted to explain that.
Try to take out all the uncomfortable things that would make you not want to come. And basically, we were like, if we would feel weirded out by this, we're not going to do it on the weekend. And so that's how we built the whole weekend. So we get weirded out really easily. So you should be really fine with that. But if you're interested, we're not trying to make a push by any stretch. We're just saying this was something that was fundamental and was a real turning point in our relationship. And we know the value of it. And so we want to give that opportunity to anybody because we're all in difficult seasons. Hello, COVID. Like, happy 7-month anniversary of 14 days to flatten the curve. Like, it's insane what this has been, right? And so I guarantee you that your marriages are at a place now than they've probably never been. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you know what? We need to step back for a little bit, and we just need to switch it up, and we just need to kind of break the routine and just get away and retreat so we can refocus and restore. And that's what those are designed to do. But again, like we said, not everybody is going to want to do that, and we totally understand that. But we also, another piece of what we do is kind of just walk with couples through the seasons, more on a 2-on-2, 1-on-1 basis. And so if that's something that you need just somebody to talk through, to vent to, like I said, we got broad shoulders. You're not going to freak us out. You can feel free to chat with us. We're not going to judge you. I joke it's like the Planet Fitness, like it's no judgment zone, judgment-free zone, or whatever it is. So if we can help in any way with that, we would be honored to do that as well. Because you were not, if you can hear anything else that we say tonight, you were never created to go through these seasons alone. You were made to do it hand in hand with people that can walk with you. And so please know that we are here for you, and you don't have to figure this out on your own. And we will do anything we can to walk with you through it. So, anything else? All right. Well, thank you guys so much just for the opportunity to share.
For your retreats, where are they? Like?
Oh yeah, they are in the beautiful No, they're by the beautiful Delaware River, I guess you could say. It's in Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania. It's like 1 hour and 7 minutes from here. It's close enough that if you had to get home in an emergency, you could. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's far enough away that you're like, sorry, I'm in Pennsylvania, kind of a thing. Yes, and sorry, we just really like to talk, so we're not really good at promoting. You can see all that on restorationfamilyfarm.com. I know it's a weird name, but that's because we're hoping to host our ministry on a farm to give people that extra space to retreat. So restorationfamilyfarm.com. You can follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Rob Schwing, Jen Schwing.
We'll put it in an email so that they have it.
Awesome, thank you. Because I was like, we should give you something, and I was like, oh, that's right, we have nothing.
We literally have just started within the past
so
few
we'll
months.
work on that.
We're getting there.
Yeah, and if our kids were here, they would tell you to go buy the merch. They're big fans of the merch that we have. So while you're on our website, go pick up some shirts and sweatshirts and all that good stuff. But thank you guys, I appreciate it.